October 13th. That's the big day for sophomores and juniors in public schools in the state of Maine as they navigate their way through the 2010 PSAT. Once again, we'll be asking sophomore and junior advisors to proctor the exam. And of course, all teachers and advisors should be as knowledgeable as they can be about the structure and the format of the PSAT in order to effectively help students perform their best. There are plenty of tools that are available to you to do just that. In fact, if you haven't created a College Board account yet, I would encourage you to do so today. This screencast, however, is designed to help you help your students navigate one part of the critical reading section, specifically the sentence completions. Sentence completions measure a student's word knowledge. They don't have anything to do with specific content knowledge. The stronger a student's vocabulary is, the better the student will perform on this type of question. There are 2 critical reading sections on the PSAT, and there are 13 sentence completions in each section. It's important for students to know that the easier questions come at the beginning of each set of sentence completions and give way to harder questions, so students should try to earn as many points as possible on the easy questions. Remember, students earn 1 point for each correct answer and lose a quarter point for each wrong answer. If they can eliminate at least 2, and preferably 3, of the answer choices to make an educated guess, they should probably leave the question blank. Unanswered questions won't gain students any points, but they won't lose any points either. There are some clear strategies that you can share with your students to help them navigate the sentence completions effectively. Let's take a look at a sentence completion, and I'll go through those strategies with you. And remember, you're encouraged to do this very same thing with your students as the date for the PSAT approaches. The first strategy to teach students is to know the directions. The directions for the PSAT and the SAT never change. So, if students know the directions ahead of time, they can save time by skipping over them. Let's take a look at the directions for sentence completions. Each sentence below has 1 or 2 blanks, each blank indicating that something has been omitted. Beneath the sentence are 5 words or sets of words labeled A through E. Choose the word or set of words that, when inserted into the sentence, best fits the meaning of a sentence as a whole. You can see by knowing the directions ahead of time, students can save some good quality time by simply knowing the directions and being able to skip over them. So that's the first strategy. Know the directions for each section. The second strategy is to read the sentence all the way through. Try to fill in the blanks with a word that they know would make sense. Don't look at the answer choices just now. So, although a few contemporaries blanked the book, most either ignored or mocked it. As I look at this sentence, I would understand that although might be a trigger word. And so although a few contemporaries liked the book, most either ignored or mocked it. So our second strategy is to read the sentence all the way through, filling in the blank with a word that I already know that best makes sense. Now the third strategy is to now take a look at my answer choices. Remember, I chose the word liked to go in this blank. So the first thing I'm going to look for is a word that means something like liked. I would want to cross out any words that I knew didn't make sense in the sentence because they had nothing to do with the word that I picked. So I know that degraded is nothing like liked. So I would want to cross that word out as I came to it. And remind students that they can write in their test booklet and should do so. I'm looking at my second word choice, disregarded. That too has nothing like the word liked. I'm going to cross that out. The word ridiculed and slighted. Neither one of those have anything to do with my word that I picked. And I look at the fifth word choice, appreciated. I think that has something to do with my word that I chose, liked. So now my last strategy is I'm going to check it out and try in my sentence with the word choice that might fit. So Although a few contemporaries appreciated the book, most either ignored or mocked it. It makes sense to me, and so I feel pretty confident that the correct answer is appreciated. I'm also remembering that the easy questions come at the beginning of the section, so I'm feeling even better that appreciated might be the right choice. So sometimes the sentence completions are going to have two blanks in them, as you see in this sentence. And sometimes we'll have a hard choice to make about the words that we come to. So here's a strategy for the two blank sentences. Again, we're going to skip the directions because we already know them. We're going to start by reading the sentence as a whole, trying to fill in the blanks with a word that I already know. I'm not even bothering to look at my answer choices yet. So, hoping to blank the dispute, the negotiators proposed a compromise that they felt would be blank to both labor and management. So I'm thinking, hoping to end the dispute, the negotiators proposed a compromise that they felt would be fair to both labor and management. Now with a two blank sentence completion, we're only going to look at the first blank first because sometimes we can eliminate answer choices just based on that. So I said, hoping to end the dispute, the negotiators proposed a compromise. So let's take a look at the choices that we have here. Hoping to end. Enforce certainly doesn't mean end. So I'm going to eliminate A as a choice. End is a perfect word, so that might be. Overcome, that would fit with my choice of end. Extend, that's not going to work because they don't want to extend the dispute if they want to end it. So I'm going to cross that out on my task and eliminate it as an option. Resolve would also work. So I've eliminated two choices. I've eliminated A and I've eliminated D. So let's now take a look at our second blank. Hoping to end the dispute, the negotiators proposed a compromise that they felt would be fair to both labor and management. Useful, that might work. Divisive, well, they want to end the dispute, but they don't want a divisive compromise, so I'm eliminating B. Overcome and unattractive. A compromise is unattractive to both labor and management. I don't think that they want that either, so I can eliminate C. Now my only other choice is E, acceptable. That would work too. So now I need to figure out what works best for me. And clearly, E is the answer. So now my last strategy is to plug these words into the sentence and see if they make sense as a whole. Hoping to resolve the dispute, the negotiators proposed a compromise that they felt would be acceptable to both labor and management. That sounds good. I've eliminated some of my options, the sentence makes sense, and I can feel pretty confident that I've earned a point in this sentence completion as well. Be sure to remind students that the easy ones come first in the sentence completions. They get harder as students move through the section. So they should work as quickly as they can to earn those easy points. They can always go back to the tougher ones if they have time. So, encourage them to circle any questions that they don't answer right in the test booklet. This will help them to see more quickly if they have time to go back and tackle them. But also, caution them to be really careful to mark their answer sheets correctly. If they skip test questions, they don't want to get themselves mixed up. So it's really important that they pay attention. So that's just about it for the critical reading sentence completions. Let's recap the strategies. First, know the directions. That way, you can save time by skipping over them. Next, read the sentence all the way through. Try to fill the blank in with a word that you know makes sense. Don't look at the answer choices just yet. Look for a word choice that's similar in meaning to the word that you came up with to fill in the blank. And if it's a two blank sentence, work on the first blank only right now. Remind students to cross out any word choices that can be eliminated. If you can eliminate two or more choices, consider guessing if you don't know the answer for sure. Leave it blank if you can eliminate at least two answer choices. And as a side note, if students are having trouble figuring out what words in the answer choices mean, encourage them to be smart Is there a part of the word they know? Is there another word that reminds them of this word and might have a similar meaning? And finally, remember, the easy ones come first. They get harder as you move through the section. You can always go back to the tougher ones if you have time. So that's it. Simple strategies to navigate the sentence completion part of the critical reading section. Let me know if I can help clarify any of these ideas for you or your students. And we'll see you for the PSAT on October 13th.